This video is brought to you by me. For $1 a month, you can support the channel directly and help me keep doing what I love. Thanks for watching and supporting. If you told me a week ago that a story featuring a talking pig man and aliens tells one of the best stories about the importance of photojournalism and fact over propaganda, I probably would have told you to leave my home. But I just finished playing Beyond Good and Evil, and yes, it does tell that story better than I could have ever imagined. It is one of the most enthralling games I have ever played. While this is an adventure game through and through, or a Zelda mop as I like to call it, this game has one mechanic that sets it apart: a camera. Truth through photography is front and center in Beyond Good and Evil, and that was a main focus from early on in the development of the game. According to Michel Ancel, the creator of the game, he set out to pack a huge breathing world onto a disc that encouraged exploration and player freedom. While the scope had to be understandably pared down after it was initially revealed, what's left is a remarkable, interesting world that creates a meaningful story and memorable characters. It wears its inspirations on its sleeve. The development of Beyond Good and Evil was inspired by politics and media coverage after the events of 9/11. That influence really shows in how the game handles itself, and how it hands journalistic responsibility to the player. Some games give you a camera and ditch it after a few missions, but in Beyond Good and Evil, the camera is the most important tool you have. There are no guns in the game, but rather you're pointing a lens at enemies to reveal their true intent. There is no Beyond Good and Evil without photography. Jade is a strong woman who is covered appropriately in all green, all the way down to her piercing green eyes. She lives in a city named Hillis that is tortured by war. Asteroids fall from the sky destroying property, and people are vanishing seemingly overnight by the hundreds. The Doms, an alien species, is a constant threat to safety. Luckily for the Hillesian people, the Alpha sections are here to protect the citizens, a fact they never let anyone forget as they blast constant, repeating video feeds on huge screens all over town. Everyone is convinced by their messaging, even kids who speak their mottos like biblical verses. But something seems fishy about the Alphas from the get-go. When Jade's lighthouse, where she lives with her uncle Pey'j and the orphans they look after, is attacked, Jade finds her money has run out, meaning she can't raise the shields to protect her home. Her, Pey'j, and the orphans are now easy targets for the Dom's assault. After fighting off the Doms single-handedly and saving the orphans from abduction, the Alphas conveniently show up with their camera crew, patting themselves on the back for showing up late and doing nothing, and then quickly leave the scene. It's effective to show the Alphas in this light from moment one because you have to ask yourself, if these so-called heroes are lying about protecting the lighthouse, what else are they lying about? Jade doesn't have time to worry about that. She has orphans to look after and a power issue she needs to resolve. To pick up some quick money, Jade accepts an important job to travel the area around town to document all of the individual species native to Hillis in case the war leads to their extinction. With her camera in hand, she sets out to take photos of any animal she can find, from humans to flying fish. Jade is paid in credits and pearls, which are used to upgrade her hovercraft and allow her access to new parts of the map. After documenting enough species and scraping together some money, a mysterious man named Mr. DeCastellac contacts Jade with a tip that twin Dom's monsters were sighted in a nearby cave and will pay top dollar for proof of their existence if Jade is willing to accept the dangerous mission. Armed with her camera and fighting staff, she sets off with Pey'j into the cave. Upon fighting through flying worms and taking photos to document them, we arrive at the nest of the twins. Only it's not a set of twins at all, but rather they are simply the antenna of a much larger animal, and it's pissed. She fights off the monster and destroys it and returns to the man who hired her. The man in black reveals that he's not a mysterious individual at all. He's a leading officer for Iris, the rebellion organization trying to take down the Alpha sections by showing the Hillesian people the truth about their actions. The group wants to recruit Jade to replace their other agent Double H, who vanished during his last assignment. After passing this test in the cave, Iris feels Jade would be a crucial part of the team because she's willing to go above and beyond, putting herself in dangerous situations to get the job done. Jade agrees to join, taking on the codename Shawnee under the Iris group. From then on, Jade works to infiltrate the Alpha Section supply line using her camera as a weapon for truth. She goes through many stealth segments to sneak around the Alpha's different bases of operations, taking photos of what she sees as she goes, and even manages to save Double H from having his brain melted by one of the Alpha machines that are used to suck life from its victims. He eventually becomes your partner for most of the game as he wants to finish the job he failed to do, while also repaying Jade for saving his life. He's very funny and lives his life based solely on the fictional book Carlson and Peters that outlines how the Hilsian army is supposed to conduct itself.
Carlson and Peters!
This game does a remarkable job of keeping gameplay fresh, the stealth segments actually being a lot of fun instead of a chore because of generous checkpoints and the ability to fight off enemies if all else fails. It constantly adds new mechanics and introduces fun puzzles that keep the pacing very interesting from start to finish. Since the game involves the use of a partner like pey'j and Double H, a lot of puzzles involve teamwork. Both partners have a special attack that stuns enemies, which allows you to combo them, or in a lot of cases, launch them at a destructible part of the environment to solve a puzzle or lower a bridge. The open world navigation also constantly changes as your hovercraft becomes more competent as a means for transportation. It goes from literally breaking down the moment you get into it, to being able to attach to a spaceship and fly to the moon. It also gains a cannon that allows you to fend off Dom's attacks going forward as well. The hovercraft also means more than just navigation, as you can race for more pearls on the side. My time with it flew by, and I was left wanting to play more even when it ended. Instead of single-handedly taking down the Alphas, Jade uses her equipment to broadcast the truth to Hillis, slowly gaining support from the citizens as the game progresses. Jade isn't looking to be the hero. She's working to tell the truth in order to empower the citizens of Hillis to take their city back. Her camera is the true hero, dealing more damage to the Alphas than any one ship or soldier. The images it produces are more powerful than the propaganda slapped everywhere anyone turns, in spite of the Alphas trying to spin the Iris' infiltration as terrorist attacks. And as Jade produces more proof, fewer and fewer people buy the message and turn away from the Alphas. As the people see for themselves, the Alphas are the ones kidnapping their loved ones, shipping them around in crates and draining them of their life to feed their own needs. And the Alphas start running out of ideas on how to spread their message, releasing their grasp on the city. I feel like I keep stumbling onto games drastically ahead of their time. With Beyond Good and Evil, I've once again fallen on a game that sets out to tell the story of how truth always wins over propaganda. In this game, we see the Alphas use vocabulary like terrorist threats attacking our supply chain, implying to the people that they are directly affected by the Iris infiltrations. They're trying to create this group mentality and give the citizens a personal stake in this. But we also see how that facade is shattered when the proof is actually revealed. In the last year, we've seen how powerful one person with a camera can be, just in the right place, the right time, and the right mindset to take out a phone to record what is happening right in front of them. The truth can move a nation. It can lead to justice, or it can lead to change. People have a tendency to only believe what they see, and the power of a video or an image can convince thousands of individuals, and we see this reflected in Beyond Good and Evil. So while the game might have a talking pig and aliens, the central theme of the story is just as powerful today, if not more so. I'd almost go so far to say this game is essential to play, especially for aspiring journalists. It will reinvigorate your passion for truth and journalistic education. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like the sequel to Beyond Good and Evil is coming out anytime soon. After being revealed in 2017, most of the news has ceased, with the official Twitter account not posting anything for more than a year. And their last post was saying the creator of the game, Michel Ancel, retired from gaming altogether. Although maybe getting him away from other people might not be such a bad thing, considering he was accused of creating a toxic work environment by his employees. A part of me hopes this game is good, but a part of me hopes it doesn't come out at all. For the little we have seen of the sequel, it sure seems like the direction misses the point of Beyond Good and Evil 1, where the main hook is fighting for truth. If the Beyond Good and Evil series ended at one game, this would be one hell of a way to go. It's an exquisite game that sets out to be different from the start, and succeeded in every way. At least we have a Netflix movie coming out. Thank you so much for watching my video, I really appreciate it. If you liked the video, please leave a like on it, it helps me out more than you can imagine. Did you play Beyond Good and Evil? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments. If you want to see more videos like this, you can hit subscribe and the bell to make sure you never miss an upload. Lastly, if you want to support the channel directly, you can head to my Patreon down in the description below to check out my different tiers. For as little as $1 a month, you can get early access to my videos as well as exclusive content you can't get anywhere else. I'd like to take a minute and thank my higher tier patrons, Andrew Elmore, Andrew Lang, Just Jessica, and 8-Bit Jesus. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!